All right, traders, welcome on back here to close out this week here for us this Friday, 8/8, August 8th. Great to see Andrea, Ron, Roberto, a few more of our students just joining us here live inside our trading room. And then again, if you're on social media here, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, wherever you may be residing on the socials, on the internets, right? At Cyber Trading You down below, just popping up. Got a gerbil stuck in the hamster here today, so no webcam, but otherwise at Cyber Trading You, just feel free to hit the like, follow, or subscribe button down below. But either way, great to see our students and members there. Great to see Bill, like I said before, Lawrence rejoining us. Leda, as always, Scott, Andrew, Barbara, Brett, got Johnny, Roseanne, Farzad, a bunch of us, right? So without further ado, hop right into the thick of it here. So BMNR, what a trade just from the morning. Now, if you're familiar with this stock, if you're Lawrence, Scott, Farzad, maybe Ron, Bill, Andrea, etc., why is this stock moving up? Do you know why, generally speaking, why this BMNR stock is going up? What's the affiliation with this stock? What's it tied to? Bill says Ethereum, and he knows because he's in a swing trade on that ETF, ETHE. So this is also up 4.7%, right, Bill? So yeah, Ethereum has been the hot hand of late. I mean, just over the last month or so. Now, recently, you've had a lot of these companies dip into Bitcoin treasury companies, basically publicly traded companies that are providing capital, assets, money towards Bitcoin. And then it's been Ethereum. So the one that everyone's been talking about is this trade here, BMNR, led by Tom Lee. You can see this thing had a huge pop back when they had declared basically their investment, their treasury towards Ethereum, and had a huge pop that then came back down. We did really well as a day trade. We knew that this was going up way too much, way too fast. So you had to see support develop, and it came crashing back down here, and it still broke down a little bit more. This gap essentially all that got filled, and then right back on up here today. So I'm in this trade right now. I called this out earlier off of those two lines just throughout the morning. I was saying, hey, I'm looking for a bounce. I wanted to see a pullback and at least see some sort of consolidation. At 10:16 in the morning, I'd made that post, looking for a bounce right around 45.30, 45.80. This couldn't have worked out any better, obviously. Even if it were to have dipped into this, it would have been just fine for me. I was accepting letting this even break even a little under the lower line first, but it was so damn strong. It just held almost flawless, right? Dipped into the first line, and that was pretty much history. Now, at this point, going into the afternoon, I have no problems putting this on our watch list here. Day/swing afternoon watch list. And yes, I got my typewriter keyboard here. I think someone had mentioned that earlier just before, right? Yeah, that's me. That's me. I'm going to get me a new keyboard perhaps over this weekend. I mean, having a great day today, so certainly paying some bills. So BMNR is one stock we're going to put on our list. I want to go through the others that are on my position manager for right now, and this MRM we are going to get to here at least anyway. It's still the top percent gainer for right now, but yeah, MRM, this was more of a pre-market trade that we caught early on this morning, but weakened pretty quickly. It came back down. You'd figure support would become resistance, so we weren't as interested in it here. Dropped off lower. But I'll tell you, one of our students, Roberto, had called it out before as it was pushing up to 2 even here, and I came back to my book map, and I went right back to what I was looking at from the pre-market hours, and it was all about the VWAP. It was all about seeing this flip into a support, and it never did. It broke over it as a resistance here at 7 a.m., but then that was all she wrote. So I was just thinking, all right, well, listen, if we're going to see this try and make a better move, then we should see resistance flip into support and hopefully at the VWAP. And so far, it's been doing okay. You got resistance now kind of showing up here at 224, one showing up here a little at 250. I'll put this back on our watch list, though, because it's just more from today. We're probably not going to focus on it tomorrow. Well, we're not going to focus on anything tomorrow. We're not going to focus on the stock likely from Monday because most likely with these small cap stocks, they're going to dump back down. So just for right now, for this afternoon, is it possible for this to make a higher high? Yeah, I still think so. All right, then last one here, the Soon trade. I had missed out on this from the morning push. So, I ended up trying to see if this would be a decent short opportunity in a setup that I don't normally look to take myself off in here, go counter trend. But this was a little after 10:30 in the morning, so you figure eventually this thing's going to exhaust out. And even if it didn't drop off as much, I ran into a tech issue earlier today, folks. If you're a coaching student of mine today, I apologize. A couple of us, at least Jay and Mike, my apologies, gentlemen. But yeah, my computer crashed on me earlier and I had to reschedule a couple of things. But even with that, I was still in a couple of trades. And, I ended up mismanaging this trade because of that. And I'm still, short on this right now. But this is actually a new entry I took just before here. And I could have done a lot better on this trade, but I had to do a whole system reboot and get this thing back up and running at least. But this is just more of a side list stock for this afternoon. Listen, if it holds higher lows still here from this point and goes back up, good chance I'm just going to walk out with a tiny profit. If this breaks down here, then there could be more to it. But I want to see if there's just better trades that are holding, stronger in regards to trend, something that has a better chance for a higher high. I just don't think the soon stock is going to make the higher high, even if it decides to, crawl back up on me. The PAPL here, just as we go from top to bottom here right now, just this was from earlier. This is literally going from top down to bottom. So, yeah, we're done with that stock. ALEC, ooh, nice trade here. Nice stock. ALEC, just good order book. Almost has like two big orders here, but perhaps we'll get a better push going into the close. It's right back to the highs. So yeah, I have no problem adding this ALEC trade here heading into the afternoon. All right, now we'll keep it quick. We'll keep it pretty short and quick here, folks. That BMNR I may swing trade. Just it's going up too fast though. I know Fausto would be the first to say that, so I kind of have that in the back of my head. I feel like it would probably just be better to get out. Talk about a waste of time. Geez, this was a big waste of time earlier. Had such a good entry on this trade and ended up taking a little off the table, but it came back down and I just stayed in it for the rest of the trade and just got out just at some point as it was here. But it's a giant waste of time, the pot stocks. Veri. Did Fausto call this one out earlier too, maybe, or was it Rich? Someone? I know he was on one of those stocks from earlier today that popped, maybe real. And the Veri trade doesn't look half bad. It definitely needs a kick in the pants right now, another push up into the close, but I'll come back to it if you want me to. SPRU back down. We got ALEC. Now we got ARIC here. This one's not looking as good. OUST pop and drop. I mean, a lot of these stocks either washed up or even if they're near the highs, you want to see good order book. You want to see good momentum. The Sky T trade actually recently here did bounce from like 2:15 Eastern time to right here. So if it continues at that pace, then there could be a much better trade. I'll edit Sky T. Trip. All right, now back to the grind. Right back to the grind we go. Slowly but surely build up a decent watch list at least, but I'm going to find the needle in the haystack here. I see like that USAR. I know this chart wasn't looking half bad, but order book wise, a bit of a spread. Order size kind of skimpy here, so it's going to open up. It's not really a need. This Ondas stock has been lava hot. It's probably due for a pullback, and I was looking for a pullback even from the last couple of days, just didn't get it. So maybe it's just going to consolidate more over time, but this is one to keep your eyes on. At least keep this on your side list for next week, no matter what. Oh, okay. Well, figures. All right. So if Bitcoin and Ethereum push up into the close, you get the other treasury companies and whatnot, like, make a little pop here. BTCS. This thing here is not moving with it. BTC. All right. So this one's not half bad. BTCS. I'll add the BTCS trade. NVOX, KTOS. Geez. All right. Let's see. Anything else here, folks, from the gainer side? Maybe like the MBIS stock I saw Chuck clean up on before. I think maybe Ron did earlier today too. Oh, did Micron report earnings? Oh, no, not even. Geez, what the hell? They just ran up on their own mid morning. Didn't even realize that. It goes to show there's like, obviously like a few thousand stocks that are even tradable that we can call out or have pop up on our scanners. I didn't even see this trade here just until now. So Let's bring over Benzinga Pro, see what the news is out, at least for Micron. I was assuming that it was earnings. I know Rich maybe had made a call out on it earlier, just at resistance at 120, but that was it. Uh, Semiconductor surge as AI demand, tariff relief, and big tech investments fuel momentum. That sounds like a blog title, so that doesn't sound like a meaningful headline, but geez, clearly big run up on MU. All right, go back to the weekly chart, the historical charts. Otherwise, we'll just say daily, weekly, monthly. But right back on up here. So looks like, if anything, check this out. I don't know if this held as nice. For the most part, slope changed on the trend down with the lower highs here that you could see. So kind of within this web, but nice sling. Going into the close, I don't know if I'm going to put this on our main special list, but really nice move today from Micron. And, if you want to follow this for next week, this definitely gives you good reason to. All right, BMNR, I think, is just popping. I think that's just still flying right now, right? Because I see I'm just in the eights now at this point. All right, let's hop over to the loser side here, see if there's anything looking just as good. Oh, also, hey, if you're in on the BMNR here, just let me know. Just this, if you're in on that BMNR trade with us here from earlier today, just let me know. Otherwise, Bill, I know that you're in on the Ethereum one, of course. Probably going to get out on that trade if we can get close to 60. What I say, 55 earlier? And we'll see what happens at 55, I reckon, first, I guess. But if it blasts over that, then I feel like we can get up to 60. IOVA, UA. I'm not trying to run these stocks now, but let's see what else we got here. Pinterest down big. Not doing as much now. That's at least a name I know. Affirm also. Oh, Affirm at the low of the day. So yeah, if we're looking for a short, a stock near or at the low, Affirm possibly could be it. This is a really healthy long-term chart though. So I don't know how bearish I am long-term on this trade. It's just to say, as a day trade, this might be more worth your time. And I do see just a little something here, which would be interesting. Nice little, this can drop down to maybe over time. Who knows, right? Hertz, that was a small trade from yesterday that failed to break higher, so down big here today. Pretty much it. Pretty much it here, folks. Not much else. All right, here, I'll check out Benzinga Pro before we call it a wrap here. You know what? I'll go from top to bottom here. I'm sorry. Let's go to April 1st on TTD. So as far as a day trade goes, April, this one's done for today. But as far as like the long-term graph goes for Trade Desk, yeah, they got beat up. All right, they got beat up, and they were on the verge of trying to fill a gap. They started off okay, little shakes here at the time back in the end of July. You're swinging it right now, April. If you don't mind me asking, obviously we're doing this in public, but I just got to ask, what price are you in from April? Are you holding on from up top, or did you jump in from earlier here and you're taking trying to find the dip from earlier, like this morning? I'm assuming then, right? Yeah, listen, if you're trying to get that dip, then hey, it looks like there's a chance if you happen to see higher lows before the end of the day here, maybe you can get a small squeeze into Monday morning and then react at that point. The issue with Trade Desk is that you're kind of just back into this web of support here, just some thick consolidation. And you don't know if it's going to drop all the way down here or if it's just going to hold around this area for a little while and back up. So it's worth a shot. If you like the company, at least, if you know of them at the bare minimum, and I think they are S&P 500 company, right? I remember seeing a statistic last night with them, like they recently got added, actually. So, there's a chance it can go back up. Nice move here so far, so I'm sure you're off to a good start on it. I really, really like P&L. Yeah, me too, Roberto. Yeah, me too, my friend. Yeah, absolutely. Now, here's the thing. I take losses all the time. I always tell you when I take losses. The trades that I'm not in on now, I may have been in from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. A couple of them I closed out pretty good. A couple of them I closed out break even, where I wiped out a good gain and I just didn't take a loss. Then some I just took a loss on. So they're not always going to be perfect, but I'm certainly never going to hold on to a losing trade for a longer amount of time. That's the last thing that you want to do, right? That's why they make seatbelts in cars. Prevents you from getting into a bad accident. That's where they make stops in platforms to prevent you from holding on to a big loser over time, right? That's at least the mentality. So, got to try and remain as disciplined as possible to that as you can. Yeah, Lita, got the BTCS here already as we head back to our chat. So that one already on our main list. The SMR is a potential short from Anna. Yeah, maybe. Would be interesting to see these lows get retested again, if not even lower over time, if this really wants to pull more. But otherwise, if this does come back up into these wicks, then maybe there's a chance for stronger support to build. But this is definitely back in some limbo for right now. So, hey, if the sellers want to keep this battle going, then it wouldn't be a bad idea to follow this as a short. The SMR trade, not a bad look. All right, cool. So that's from our trading room right there. A few of our members and students just joining us right now. Leda, always great to have you joining us, not just inside our room, but on the socials as well. I got a gerbil on the webcam here. I botched my line earlier as I said that, but yeah, no webcam today. But otherwise, though, let's hop over back to Benzinga before we finish up. Yeah, a lot of these trades not really doing it here for me. The SPRU is just from earlier. I'd rather that prove itself a lot more. BMNR is already on our list. From this right side here, maybe a QUBT. Am I looking at QUBT? Listen, it's tradable. It's up 4%. It's at the high of the day, right? So if you do well on this exact stock, then you know who you are. I'd want you yourself to put this on your personal watch list. But there could be a few other trades that look like that. You just don't want to build up the main special list. There are some better trades that we'll prioritize first. Going back to UPXI maybe here, as we had said. UPXI, I didn't put this on our main watch list, but it's still holding here, actually going up more. So, speaking of proving itself, why not here, this UPXI trade? The MRM trade did try and pop. It is trying to push up here. I have a target on this stock at 265. That was what I wrote to all of us just earlier here. All right, you know what? How about this? This is probably the better question, right? This is probably the better question to begin because I asked about BMNR and nobody wrote back, and I understand why. It's expensive and it's also a Category 5 stock. Who is in on this MRM trade with us here? Because quite frankly, I've been talking about this trade for the last 2 hours. So I feel like I'll probably get more people right back on the MRM at least, right? Roberto, Lawrence, a couple of us at the least. Listen, it's also Friday, so don't always have a full house on a Friday, at least for a summer day, right? But we got Charlene, Scott. All right, got a few of us. There we go. Nice. It's on me. I should have asked that first. All right, folks. Hey, we're going to wrap up at least for the time being, and barring any more computer crashes here, you got me for the afternoon. So I'll be back on myself taking you into the close. And yeah, we'll see if this can keep popping on up here up towards my 265 target. If not, who knows? Maybe even higher. We'll see. Love for this to get halted even. This hasn't gotten halted yet. So if we can get a halt, then that changes the whole dynamic of this move. But yeah, everyone had the chance to jump in on this trade from earlier, at least from 207, 208 line. If not just recently here off maybe like a 225-ish or so. But let's keep this going. Now, hey, if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., not Leda, because Leda always joins me here on socials here, but she's a member inside our live trading room, one of our longtime students. If you wanted to join us, get the full brunt of our commentary of our trading room, of our students and members alike, our educators as well, including Fausto, just scan that QR code, but also go down to the link scrolling below on the bottom right there, ctu.co/trial. We have live audio commentary, 9:30 to 10:30 Eastern. Also, as I'd mentioned, coming up 3 to 4. But otherwise, just join us right here down below, and you could even begin going into next week. Sign up for a full week-long trial right down there. But otherwise, hey, enjoy the weekend. You got another nice weekend down here in Southwest Florida. By nice, it's like 115 degrees. So probably going to be staying inside a little bit here and there. But I know up by Fausto, it is like perfect summer weather. So if you're a Northeasterner, well, hey, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the summer, and enjoy the time with family. And we'll catch back with you and going into Monday. All right, folks. And then, hey, again, if you're inside our live trading room, just stay tuned. I'll be back on in just about 15 or so minutes.